Good morning, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Favorite Album of the Year. Today, 2011. We are nearing the end of this very fun series, my friends. Today was a tough one for me. I think my number one was a absolute given. I knew it going in. It's a band that I've just really loved a lot of their work from this time period of the more recent years that we've been covering. But my runner-up was really difficult, and I'm going to pull a big-time mulligan today and I got a tie for my runner-up, if you can believe that. I just could not decide between the three of them that were ranking really high. So I said, you know what? Screw it. Not that it matters anyway, right? But my number one, pretty fine album. I'm a big fan. It's one of my favorites in the catalog, and I'm trying to think of how many wins this band has had so far for me since we kind of started the 90s, right? But released June 17th, 2011 for Nuclear Blast Records, produced by Michael Romeo. I'm talking Iconoclast by Symphony X. A barn burner of an album. All right, lots of stuff released on this album. A lot of great songs. All right, you got 2 discs here, jam full. The Iconoclast title track is excellent. The End of Innocence, Dehumanize, Bastards of the Machine. Great song. I mean, this album is just chock full of aggressive, beefy, well-produced progressive metal, hooks all over the place, killer riffs, blazing solos, plenty of keyboards, expert drumming. You got The Heretic, you got Children of a Faceless God. Amazing song. Okay, When All Is Lost, Electric Messiah, Prometheus, I Am Alive, Light Up the Night, Lords of Chaos, and of course, Reign in Madness. Just this fantastic album from Symphony X. It's among my favorites from this band. You know, I'm one of those guys that really not a bad album in this catalog. You know, the first album is what it is. Second album is really starting to, kind of get all those Symphony X characteristics that we know and love. But I think from there, just took off. Not a bad album released since, or at all, actually. And the band just keeps getting better and better. Russell Allen, great vocals. Michael Romeo and company, just killer album. Love it. So that is my favorite album of 2011. So those runner-ups I was talking about. Well, at first I had one. And again, like I've been doing, I've been going back to the stuff that I listed on my favorite picks of the year back in the actual year that it happened. So I went back on the website to 2011 and looked at my choices. My number one did not change. My number two, I pulled it out, and I was like, my number two at the time, and I was like, yep, I still dig that quite a bit. But then I started looking a little bit further down the list at the time, and I found a couple of others that maybe weren't up there in the top 2 or 3, or even 5 at the time. About a little bit less than that. But in the years since, of course, talking about 8, 9 years, I just adore these albums. So I really couldn't distinguish and pull one apart from the 3. So I kind of went for a tie here. So the first one is Heritage by Opeth. This was actually my number 2 pick in 2011 for the year. Very cool cover art. This is actually Opeth without the death growls, without any of the death metal tendencies. This is Opeth as a fully fledged 70s style prog band with, of course, plenty of hard rock and folk and psych tendencies as well. This album upset some fans, right? Where's the growls? Where's the pummeling death metal riffs? Yeah, a little different here. But I love it for it, right? It's like I've appreciated Opeth's change here. Next up, Uriah Heep, Into the Wild. A tremendous follow-up to Wake the Sleeper. Again, showing that Uriah Heep is more than capable of delivering killer hard rock into the 2000s with lots of crushing guitar riffs and amazing Hammond organ, great vocals, and more importantly, just really memorable tunes that rock hard. And then my favorite album from Whitesnake in the latter period, right? Forevermore. Since their reunion going back to the early 2000s, early mid-2000s, getting back to putting out albums again and touring pretty regularly. There's a lot of great songs on here. I really dig this album a lot, and I think the title track is among my favorite Whitesnake songs of all time. Kind of interesting that they would deliver and produce a song that great, epic, and memorable so late in their career. So there you have my winners for 2011. So you got Symphony X, Iconoclast at the top, a 3-way tie between Whitesnake, Forevermore, Into the Wild by Uriah Heep, and Heritage by Opeth. Love them all. So can't go wrong with any of these, right? I'm sure you guys got different picks. It's the way it should be, right? So it'll be interesting to see what you got in the comments below. How about some other stuff that was in the running? Magic Pie, The Suffering Joy. Great Norwegian prog band. Also from Norway. Wobbler, Rites at Dawn. Tremendous old school prog album. Dream Theater's A Dramatic Turn of Events. Okay, Mike Mangini's first album with the band. Haken, Visions. We're going to start hearing more about Haken, I think, in the days to come. But Visions, another great album from this tremendous melodic UK progressive metal band. Obscura, Omnivium, great German progressive death metal. Pentagram, Last Rites. Okay, welcome return from the Doom legends. Primordial, Redemption at the Puritan's Hand. Another killer album from the Irish extreme metalers. What else we got here? Pagan's Mind, Heavenly Ecstasy, Amorphous, The Beginning of Times. Black Country Communion 2, their second album. Excellent. Iced Earth Dystopia, Journey, Eclipse. Big fan of that Journey album. It's quite rocking. Chickenfoot, their third. Well, Chickenfoot 3, it's actually the second album, but listed as Chickenfoot 3. Voodoo Circle, Broken Heart Syndrome. Magnum's The Visitation. Arch Mathios, Sympathetic Resonance. Glass Hammer's Corcodium. And what else we got? Redemption, This Mortal Coil, and Megadeth 13 are some of the others that were kind of like, in my consideration, but not quite making the cut. All great albums, though, and deserve a little bit of a mention. So there you have it. Let's see your choices and visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're on YouTube all the damn time. Coming up, Martin Popoff and I are going to be giving our top 10 songs of the band Gillan. Ian Gillan's great heavy rock band started in the late 70s that went to the early 80s, delivered a handful of great albums and some killer songs. You don't want to miss that. Coming up at some point today, hopefully today, if not over the weekend, we got a ranking of the studio albums of Frank Marino and Mahogany Rush. Going to do Frank's kind of solo albums and Mahogany Rush, going to put them all together. Going to do Procol Harum this weekend as well. We got Ranking the Voivod catalog coming up tomorrow with some of my metal superstar friends, all right, in the Hollywood squares, the metal squares. That's coming up tomorrow, and we'll see what else we can squeeze in, right? Hopefully some new product shows, too, because I got a bunch of new CDs I want to talk about. So stay tuned for all that, and we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.